So, hello, welcome anybody who's newer to our group. It's nice to be here with you this morning. Um, Yesterday, Nelly was talking about an experience in her meditation and her life, and I wanted to read something about why it's so important that we at times speak about our experiences, speak with others about the experiences. And mostly we often see that new perspectives come to light by being asked a few questions, um, and being helped to fill out our experience from meditation. But I'm going to start with a reading that we wrote in the book and then talk about one of my experiences. So this is what we say about speaking about experiences in meditation in the book. Oh, I should always say the title of the book. The book, Reflective Meditation, Cultivating Kindness and Curiosity in the Buddhist Company. Okay. Um, quote, when writing, then speaking about our experiences in meditation, we're tempted to skip over or avoid what feels personal. Oh, let me recount some of the ways we self-censor. Don't give in to the details. Don't go into them. Stick only with what you think the teacher wants to hear or what will be uplifting for the group. Make sense out of what happened. Don't go into the psychological. The spiritual is higher than my petty concerns, and so on. I need to stay in the present moment is also another reason. And I'm ruminating about the past or my future. That would also stop you from going into your personal life. So these implicit assumptions keep us in a never-ending loop. Sometimes I keep us in a never-ending loop. One that doesn't build confidence in the process of learning from experience. Sometimes I refer to this as trying to transcend the personal, that which we might deem full of ego, self-centered, or selfish. And in doing so, meditators may inadvertently leap over the Dharma teachings embedded in their experience. So, I'm going to talk about an experience. This was not in my meditation first, it was in the shower. So, I was talking smack to my body. Now, that is an interesting phrase. I don't usually use it, but that's the way it came to me. It was like a shorthand that arose, and it gave me a different impression of my inner voice. And it was like a cool part of me taking the upper hand in the shower. And talking smack is a slang phrase. It's usually meant to insult or criticize someone, mostly an opponent. And I don't consciously feel like my body is an opponent, but from the way I was talking, this was just yesterday morning, to it the day before, you're getting old, you're drooping, things are puffing out, you don't take your vitamins and herbs, nothing is going right. And this talk was just like a low hum, and truthfully, I don't usually catch it. But at some point, the voice changed and it started listing out all the things, kind of in that smack talky voice, too, all the things I can still do with my body. And I was grateful for. Like, I have 2 working arms, 2 working legs. And yes, I only had 1 working arm a little while ago. So I was really grateful. This other working arm, after a lot of chiropractic and acupuncture, is now working again, and for getting me around, for walking, for dancing, for feeling. So after I got out of the shower, I was getting dressed and getting ready to meditate and just kind of forgot about the experience until I sat down. And at some point it came back to me. And I got really curious. How did that voice change? And I got to spend some time reliving the experience in my meditation. And I could see that I didn't consciously change the voice. The phrase was kind of funny, so it woke me up and kind of made me more aware of what I was doing. And I could see the kind of autopilot nature of the way my mind can go on at times. And then also I could see the way it could flip without really knowing why it flipped. So in my sense, that was a kind of unraveling that was happening. I was able to be with more of the feelings of what it feels like to talk badly to your body. It doesn't feel that good. I felt really sad about that, and sad actually for the way my body was changing, and of my heredity, that like no matter how many herbs and vitamins I take, I can't change certain things about the way my body ages, and the genes that I inherited, and the way that my body form looks. And it can't make a huge physical dent in that. And then, kind of feeling the gratitude that expanded not just from my body and my body being able to work, but also went to that my mind, that I was able to still feel and think and remember. And this gratitude just kind of grew. And I had words like I felt really connected. I felt alive and plugged in. And, that was actually a nice experience to have, because yesterday I was in the middle of a hurricane, an earthquake, and that gratitude that it just had happened the day before was still really around me in the middle of that day. A lot of it was watching news on the Southern California coastline and kind of tracking things, and also then hearing about the fires near Spokane, and Nelly texting me about the smoke in Portland, and then seeing, again, the news and the footage of Hawaii and all the things that are happening in this climate emergency. And, I don't want to sound trite, because it's really difficult to hold all of that. I can't do it, actually. But there was a kind of a gratitude within this time warp of a day yesterday, while I was waiting to see if the crisis was going to get worse, while I was checking in with others. Well, a lot of you checked in with me. So it was that kind of a long day that then seemed over in a flash. But I have now the memory of the gratitude that I had during that day, which made the day a lot easier. So many Buddhist practices will often guide you to keep the smack talk out of your meditation sitting. Focus on the breath, do a metta practice, do something else. And really, at times, it's necessary to do that. I don't think that that's an invalid instruction. It's just that, how do we know when it's necessary? And how do we know when it's necessary to be more receptive and allowing and learn from what's going on in autopilot in the way we talk to ourselves? And we often don't know the conditions until after. And that's why reflective meditation, reflection is so important in the practice. And it's really a big experiment. Every time we meditate, we just don't know whether we should stay with it a little bit more, invite it in and see where it goes, or create a boundary and do something else, do another practice. So I saw this quote from Carl Jung, a Swiss psychoanalyst. Most of you know who he is. I just like to say born in the late 1800s, which is kind of amazing that you can pull quotes back from modern day voices. And he says this: if our religion is based on salvation, our chief emotions will be fear and trembling. If our religion is based on wonder, our chief emotion will be gratitude. Now, it gets at something for me, even though I don't tend to talk in chief emotions or religion, and I don't practice reflective meditation as a religion, but Buddhism and other practices are considered a religion. And I come from a religious background where salvation was very important. That was, what we were trying to do, or someone was trying to do it for us. So I don't think it was an a conscious goal when I first started meditation, salvation, but I often hear Buddhist practices talked about as a salvific practice. Buddhism is salvific. But over the years, and many of you have been a part of this evolution, I really have seen reflective meditation based more on wonder and curiosity and the mystery of conditionality and the unfolding of the teachings in our direct experience, really looking for those Dharma teachings from our life and our meditation. So this shift, I feel, has been really important. It's changed the way I treat myself. It's changed what I'm curious in and what I invite into my meditation. And it's changed the way I treat others. And that's a big part of my life. I want to treat myself and others better, well, and good. Okay, I'll end here. Nice to see you this morning, as I already